a beautiful evening for the beautiful game. Welcome to Monterey, California. The night's match presented by the United States Golf Association as Miami FC, under the guise of an interim coach, heads west to take on the Union Monterey Bay FC in good form right now. And that good form is reflected in the Western Conference standings. While Miami is in 10th place in the East, you'll find Monterey Bay, a 12th place team a year ago, right now sitting in 5th. And although 5 is an important number right now, 4 is a bigger one. Along with Anna Whitty, I'm Dave Lamont. And Anna, the number 4 is going to be big for Monterey Bay because they could be in 4th place by the time they wake up. But they've also got one of the most dangerous foursomes in USL Championship.
The front four for the Union have a collective 11 goals between them. It starts from the high press. With their athleticism, the Union are looking to win the ball closer to goal and facilitate those opportunities by creating more chances. Playing in a 3-back for the Union allows them to create overloads that gets their outside backs up higher and creating chances inside the 18.
And the Union has some real balance up front. Part of that foursome, Christian Valesky.
Forward Christian Valesky will be the target for this Union side because he floats and he drifts. 6 goals, 4 assists this season. Not only is he looking to score on his own, but he can facilitate so well with players like Alec Dixon next to him.
Now, Miami comes west with a new man in charge. Anthony Poulos was let go after a very frustrating loss for them on Saturday to Loudoun. And the new man is Lewis Neal. He was already on the staff. They made him the interim coach. So this is the beginning of an audition period for Lewis Neal.
Interim head coach Lewis Neal said there'll be no tactical changes for this Miami FC side. They want to dominate the space in transition, and they're looking to catch this Union high out of position, especially since they play in a 3-back.
And Kyle Murphy is the key man in the Miami FC attack.
Forward Kyle Murphy is the biggest outlet for Miami, and they're going to be looking to use him not only down the middle of the field, but also out wide to get him to score by crossing balls inside the box. Murphy has not scored a goal from the run of play in the last 5 games, so he's going to be eager to get something here tonight.
It'll be Miami FC looking for their first win since May 3rd on the road against Monterey Bay FC, a team firmly in the Western playoff race. Kickoff is coming next.
I just can't believe it. I mean, it's just, I'm crying.
What a way to break through to the show we.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's happening.
You are beautiful. I really like you.
It's been my dream since I was a little girl. It's the one that I've always wanted to win, so now I've done it and it just feels amazing.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Who's going to get their name on the trophy this year, along with Minjee Lee, the winner last year at the U.S. Open? For the first time, the women will get a chance to play beautiful Pebble Beach, and some Hall of Fame names on that list like Carol Mann, Mickey Wright, and many, many more. It should be a fun event at probably the most beautiful course in the United States. But let's get back to our match at hand and take a look at these 11s, Anna. And for Monterey Bay, another guy that's back in the starting lineup. He's been out of it a little bit. Dangerous goal scorer, and Alex Dixon.
Alex Dixon back on the right-hand side for this Monterey Bay side. He has the most shots on target for this team with 11. Monterey Bay going a 4-2-3-1, looking to get Fair, Valesky, Boone, and Dixon very involved in the attack, using Raballer, Murphy as the 2 6s in a double pivot.
And I wonder what Lewis Neal was thinking when he put out this 11 for the first time as the head coach of this Miami FC team, that it's 0-4-2 in its last 6.
Paco Craig is going to have a huge responsibility playing next to Ofimu. Then up top, it's Claudio Rapido and Kyle Murphy in the 2, looking to create opportunities. A 4-4-2. This midfield is going to have to be careful and make sure that their defensive principles are strong, and Sordo and Doana against this really strong Monterey Bay attack.
Miami FC has not picked up 3 points on the road this year, at least in one game. They have 3 draws along with 3 losses. The weather couldn't be any better for the Miami guys. They might feel cold. It's in the 50s in Monterey, where in Miami it's always around 90 with matching humidity these days in the summertime.
I would take the 56-degree weather if I'm a Miami player. It's better soccer weather.
I think it's better weather for running all the way around. You see, Miami will be in the teal with a little bit of white. Corbin Bay is in charge of the match tonight. And the Monterey Bay FC Union will be in the blue. This sun could be a little bit of a factor as well, as you can already see shadows. So no chance of rain, or very minimal, and we are off as Monterey Bay, their last loss May 20th. And they have been up and down with their form. Before they got hot lately, they went through a 4-game stretch without a victory. But they have turned it around with this explosive offense. But the other thing that's different, Anna, a little bit, is their commitment to defense seems to be a little bit stronger.
Monterey Bay doing a good job of just switching the point of attack, and they have to make sure that their defense is very strong, because when they are in the attack, they're exposing their back line, making sure that all 3 lines are connected in case the opposition gets a transitional opportunity.
The Union vicious on the counterattack. Siaha in goal, making his 10th appearance. Goals against average of 1.22 and 3 clean sheets. Jake McGuire is opposite number, making his 6th start. He has a clean sheet. I don't assume that was the ball, although the foul has been called. Maybe this was a kick. Referee stopping play, and don't know if there's going to be early booking here. Making sure, first off, the Miami player's not injured. Take a look there at Lewis Neal, the interim coach. He was on the staff already. And in fact, there's no kind of booking here at all. We take one more look at what happened.
Monterey Bay looking to clear this ball, and Miami FC's player just falling down. Not sure what that initial contact was. Good to see him back up on his feet.
Not enough to even earn a lecture from the referee. It's a flick header on, and Siaha is in position. And this is the Monterey Bay. They love on the counterattack. Frank Yallop, the head coach in his 2nd season.
Monterey Bay said they don't like possession. They want to get out quickly. They have the athleticism, and that they have the runner. So leaning towards the style of soccer that really fits their team. Monterey Bay being quick, looking to switch the point of attack, or trying to release a player like Boone or Valesky up top.
Now the touch by James Murphy that time, a bit heavy. And for Miami, and I wonder the mentality. It's a long trip, obviously, from South Florida into the Monterey Peninsula. I have a theory that it's actually better that Lewis Neal's first game is not at home.
This Miami side getting the opportunity to go on the road and build something as a team.
Martinez with a cross. It didn't work, but cleared not out by Miami.
Miami being able to be together collectively, continue to grow as a team on the road. Sometimes when you're on the road, it's a completely different experience and allows you to grow closer together.
Some threat from Monterey. Will they take a shot from distance? Tried to pass it into a pretty crowded box, and Miami FC comes away with it. And that's something Frank Yallop also talked with us about. He wants his team to take what he called riskier chances.
Coach Yallop wants his team to get more opportunities outside the 18. This side only has 1 goal outside of the 18 so far this season. Monterey Bay with 25 goals. They take more risks from outside the 18. Less opportunity to score goals. However, you never know if you don't take those risks. So they do a good job of coming together, but it has to be better from outside.
This is Murphy attracting attention immediately. He broke through the Monterey line. They're wondering why an offside flag didn't come up. But the dangerous Kyle Murphy, Miami's leading scorer, 4 goals on the year, was able to knock on the door. More threat here from Miami FC. That time Segbers. However, it'll be a goal kick for Siaha. Crowd still arriving on a beautiful night on the Monterey Peninsula. Hernandez dancing up the line, waiting for some service.
Monterey Bay playing in a 3-back once they have the ball, but defensively they're playing in a 4-back because Martinez and Fair are dropping back into that defensive line to continue to connect those passes, to switch the point of attack. Monterey Bay wants to build from their back line in that possession, and then they release forward, skipping over their midfield.
Miami in the East, 10th place, 2, 6, and 7. 0-4-2 in their last 6. Their last win was versus Birmingham on May 3rd. This was a playoff team a year ago, and funny, the fortunes of these teams, Anna, have kind of reversed. Monterey was 12th last year. They retained coach Frank Yallop. He's got them in 5th place tonight, whereas Miami is in 10th. Although, to be fair to Miami, a couple of wins here, a couple of 3-point results, and they thrust themselves back into the Eastern picture.
Last year was the first year for the Union. They had the chance to have that first expansion year and figure out what their side is going to look like. There's a lot of growing pains normally in the first year of a team. Now Coach Yallop has his solid core in the principles and the way that they want to play. Every single player has bought into that style, and it's paid off for them to be in that 5th place in the Western standings right now.
Tied with Colorado Springs Switchbacks, both of them at 23 points each. And we'll get into some USL Championship results as the day wears on. Fair. And there is Martinez. Quick one touch. That's not going to work out. Monterey keeps the ball, Miami's in, and although Frank Yallop's not a big fan of possession, in the early going, they definitely have the advantage.
Monterey Bay picking and choosing their moments to continue to go. Fair has done a good job of facilitating that.
Revelar, a little miscommunication there, as he might have thought someone was going to make a run on that end. So a goal kick coming up for Jake McGuire.
Coach Yallop talked about taking more opportunities from outside the 18. That would have been a great chance for Revelar. He had nobody closing down that space, and he showed that he has the ability to shoot from outside the 18. Instead of trying to feed somebody, take that shot on your own. Be selfish.
Talk about bonding on the road. Miami gets another chance next week because they're taking on the Switchback. So they're running into some of the meat of the Western Conference over the next 2 weeks. Their next home game won't be until July the 8th at Florida International University.
Monterey Bay in a good spot in the standings to be able to take some of the opportunities and the results that they've had of late and go on the road with them. However, this is a big game for Monterey Bay to get those 3 points at home in front of your home crowd to take that momentum on the road, especially when they're in the middle part of the season where teams are starting to come to their complete form and figure out what they're going to look like in the latter half.
Moving very quickly after the foul. Miami has some solid defense so far on the back line. No shots for either team on goal. Sorto with a touch there. 99, watch for him for the Miami FC as well. He's a very important player in their attack and has it right now. Teams swapping possession in midfield. Monterey in a bit of a retreat. Looks like Moby Fair is a pretty important player here in the early few minutes. He's been the main facilitator for the Union.
Moby Fair isn't playing in a 10 role. He's really dropping back and playing in a 6 in between Revelar and Murphy.
Cross here, dangerous. And Miami able to get rid of it, but not out again. Martinez sprinting over. Keep the pressure on in the early going.
Fair receiving the ball, creating opportunities to break lines, find other midfielders, and release the players out wide. Fair can also drop back into the back line when need be. He's there to fill a lot of space.
There's a shot that's going to go a little bit wide. And that was Murphy taking one of those longer shots that his coach would like to see.
Coach Yallop has talked about the partnership in Murphy and Revelar, how he's really liked those two in the six well. There's multiple players within that midfield, and Murphy can get into the attack. He can drop back and allow Fair to take over when need be. This system for Monterey Bay is so fluid. You see how it pays off, how the way that they're able to pass the ball and know exactly where the next player is going to be based off of movement.
Switch to where Martinez, unmarked for the moment. He'll draw some attention now. Chip in and nobody home. In fact, our first corner kick is about to come up as Aiden Stanley took no chances of that, headed it out of play.
Monterey Bay has caused a lot of chaos for this Miami side. It's taken a while for them to figure out how they're going to get defensively set. Lucky for Miami, Monterey Bay has not gone down the middle of the field or tried to find balls inside the 18. That's been a huge threat, so they've been able to clear out most of it.
Now Murphy drops it off short instead. Into traffic. Not a particularly great clear, and a whistle. And it looks like Monterey hit for a foul in the box. Not a popular call with the Monterey faithful. And boy, if there's one thing that Miami FC does not want to see again, it's extra balls on the pitch. They had a goal wiped out last week, would have been an equalizer, when a second ball came flying out in the middle of an attack where they ended up scoring a goal. They lose the game 2-1 rather than maybe get the one for the tie. And who knows if that even results in a coaching change. It's a massive what if, and we'll never know the answer, but that's been the kind of luck. That last week game, they had so many chances. They dominated the possession in the second half, were able to get only one goal to Loudon and ended up losing, and now a coaching change and Louis Neal is in charge.
Miami just unfortunate last week where they weren't able to get the result. Sometimes things happen in soccer, but it's about the response and how you handle a coaching change. Now that Coach Neal has stepped in, has wanted to stay with how they've been playing as a whole this season. However, it sometimes turns into an uptick in how a team plays. Miami FC hasn't found necessarily that uptick. They've had to play a lot of defense against Monterey Bay here tonight just because of how versatile and how fluid the Union are playing right now and dominating the possession.
Well, they seem to be perpetually on the attack, and that time Donor was taken down there. Possession is 73 to 27% right now for Monterey Bay FC, and understandable. Martinez with an opportunity in the middle perhaps, and passes it off towards Murphy. Murphy will work it around. Header. Oh, that could have been a beautiful pass off of that header, but Miami FC able to clear their back line. Stanley, Craig, Ofemu, and Thorne being heavily tested. And nothing has gotten through to the goalkeeper yet. Saw Boone there, 31 with a touch. Aiden won again. Boone inside the box, was able to trap it briefly, but could not do anything with it. Steele, that's a big turnover, shot wide. The left foot by Revelar failed him.
Miami clogging the middle of the field inside the 18. Whenever Monterey Bay gets the ball inside, there's multiple numbers there trying to clear it out. Watch as this ball comes inside. Not able to clear this one initially. Eventually, Miami FC gets a touch on it, but it has to be a bigger clearance, high and wide, out of threat, so Monterey Bay can't get a second opportunity.
And Miami pretty fortunate that shot was not on frame, because that was a bad mistake, bad turnover, a little bit lazy, and that's going to end up with Miami FC getting an opportunity in the Union end.
This game has been high-flying for the last 14 minutes. Monterey Bay has continued to go down the throat of Miami FC. However, Miami FC, when they win the ball, they know that their moments are in transition. Monterey Bay is gonna have to try and slow down the game or try and find ways to get the ball wider inside the 18 a little bit faster. This tempo would be really hard to sustain for 90 minutes if you're the Union.
And the Union welcomes Alex Dixon back to their starting lineup. He had been coming off the bench after an injury a few weeks ago. As Bolesky taken down, he'll be up in a moment, I'm sure. Dixon, a veteran of USL Championship play. He's been around the league quite a bit. Most recently with Pittsburgh, has 8 goals and an assist. Great speed for number 15 in blue.
Ball contested. Miami gets his left arm over top Bolesky. Pulls him down.
Not a hard call to make against Paco Craig there. One thing we haven't seen is not seen any kind of an attack yet from Miami FC. They have not got their legs toward the goal hardly at all, with one opportunity maybe for Murphy, and he never got a shot off.
Miami FC continuing to press their high press higher up the field, trying to keep Monterey Bay pinned in. You cannot allow them outlets down the end line.
Boone marked by Thorne. Revelar took one shot early already and wrestling with number 21 Akinyode, who's playing his 201st USL Championship match, which just blows me away.
Akinyode's only 29 years old too, so still a young player in this league who has a lot of growth for him still. Good position for him to be in the middle of the field, helping this Miami FC side as they're going through a coaching change, sitting at the bottom of the Eastern standing in the middle of the season. There's still time for Miami to turn this around, but it's going to take really good leadership from strong, confident players to lead this team going forward.
Kai Green, I don't think he meant to do that, ended up kicking it to himself and couldn't control the header, and now he's going to have to defend here pretty quickly as an opportunity maybe for the Miami FC. What's the ruling here? Corner kick coming up, first one for the road team.
Miami FC slowly starting to try and gain some control in this game. Miami FC does a good job to bring this one in line, try and create something, but these set pieces will be very valuable for Miami in transition.
This will be Christian Sordo, who has 3 goals on the year. Into traffic, and Siaha very aggressively coming off the line to make the grab. You can take a look at those flags too, pointing in the face of the Monterey side at the moment. Fair penetrating. This will be out wide to Martinez. Working with Dixon, number 15. Dixon settling just outside the area. Revelar. And Fair there to help him out. He's got room to make a cross if he wanted to. Revelar will do it instead. Comes out low and not accurate.
Sometimes you want your side to be a little bit selfish. Monterey Bay just continuing to be unselfish by continuing to pass that ball, looking for the perfect moment. Exactly what Coach Yallop talked about, saying he wants them to take more risk, and those balls inside the 18 when Miami isn't expecting it have to happen a little bit sooner. Monterey Bay's dominating possession, but the shots haven't been there. They haven't had the opportunities to create really good scoring chances because of the passing and the continuing to try and find the right moment.
It's interesting to say. I mean, you played the game at the college level. How often do coaches tell you to be selfish? It's usually the other way around.
It depends on the style and the game that a team is playing and also the personnel. Sometimes coaches want their teammate, or rather their players, to be selfish in moments where they feel like a team's defense isn't able to stop them. It's picking and choosing your moments to be selfish in moments. Monterey Bay has the upper hand, and they have had multiple opportunities to be selfish and potentially come up with a goal.
So far, no shots on frame for either side. Quick look while we have a moment. India winning tonight over Hartford 2-0. Tampa Bay in a contentious match with Loudoun County. The Rowdies win that one 4-2. Pitt over San Diego Loyal in full time, 2-1 for the Riverhounds. Some solid contact there. The official deciding to play advantage. Martinez once again all by his lonesome for the moment. Able to get the defender down. Martinez drops it off. Dixon, he'll fire, and his shot is blocked. But Monterey in transition, you got a little taste of it right there, how dangerous they are.
You can see how flustered Miami FC is, trying to get the ball out wide, not panic when Monterey Bay is pressing them because they feel like the game needs to be rushed. They're playing at the tempo that the Union are playing at.
Oh, a little nutmeg there and a takedown just outside the box, but no call from the official.
Miami FC getting really lucky. You can see McGuire in that he wants to settle down this game. There is no rush for Miami FC. If Miami FC wants to take over this game, they have to get their foot on the ball, not feel rushed, not feel like they have to be quick to play it, because that's when the Union are stepping in and winning it higher up the field.
Take a breath or also tell you that Orange County beat Detroit 1-0. Detroit have been playing very well, so that's a rare loss for them. Lou City takes down Las Vegas Lights 1-0. Memphis and Charleston 3-2, just getting their second half started. New Mexico and Colorado Switchbacks. Well, this is a big one for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. They're losing 2-0. So 3 points, or even maybe 1, but at least 3 for Monterey Bay FC would put them into 4th place in the West. Oakland and Phoenix, very early, just underway. Ooh, a collision there, and I don't know if there's going to be a foul. That just might have been an accident, but taken down there, number 21 from Miami, that's Akinyode, and the official very rightly stopping play to make sure there's nothing serious here.
Akinyode going up for a header. Both players are going up at the same time. These types of balls are so difficult. Watch as Akinyode and Martinez are trying to win this. Akinyode gets the brunt of this ball. Martinez right temple goes into the forehead of Akinyode. Unfortunate. You want to make sure when a player gets the contact like that on their head, you're taking every precaution to make sure that they are okay and healthy to go back on the pitch.
So he's bloody. Looks like the nose, or maybe something off the bridge of the nose, was cut.
And be a quick jersey change for Akinyode in the white jerseys. Got some of that blood on his right arm, but a big piece centrally. With his experience, his height, his physicality, that's somebody Miami is going to want back on the pitch as this game goes on.
They could use him right in this situation off this set piece, so there obviously was a free kick ordered by our referee. Is it going to be Stanley with the left? Yes, it will be. And a header on frame, punched out by Siaha, and the rebound missed somehow. I have no idea how. Siaha comes up with a huge save. He couldn't control the rebound, and Miami FC on the doorstep.
Siaha making himself big, punching that one out. Miami FC were right there, just needed to tap that one in. It was a great set piece from Stanley with the in-swinger. Just so unlucky for Miami FC looking to counter. That would have been a completely momentum change for this game. Monterey Bay has dominated the first 24 minutes of this match, and this ball comes in. It's an in-swinger from Stanley. Watches the far post. Miami FC gets their head on the ball, and Siaha gets a touch, but Miami FC cannot clear that one into the back of the net. They just kick it going forward because they use their left foot instead of their right.
Not sure how much room he had or what kind of an angle on the goal, but you are right there. But give Siaha the credit for coming up with the save. He probably regrets not controlling the rebound, but you don't always have time for that. And the funny thing is they were shorthanded when this was going on. I don't know if Akinyoti has returned to the pitch yet. He did have some blood coming out of his nose.
The play happened so quickly that the Miami FC forward barely saw that ball coming inside and was trying to react in real time instead of being proactive, trying to find the back of the net. Monterey Bay defensively did a good job as well.
And you can see Akinyoti now being worked on by the head athletic trainer. Miami playing a player down. No substitution was made. They're hoping they can patch Akinyoti up. But in the meantime, they are shy of player. Dangerous opportunity here for the Union, and they almost were able to cash in. Might see a shot here from Murphy. You do, and it's wide.
Good idea from Murphy. I like his ability to see that opportunity. So many numbers in front of McGuire that it was a good look trying to keep that one on frame. Watch as this ball comes back to Murphy. He sees, he's patient. He doesn't feel like he needs to get inside the box as Rebelar gets that one inside the 18. Not able to convert anything for Monterey Bay. Monterey Bay is doing everything correctly inside the 18s. But once they get to the 18, their balls inside are not connecting and they're not looking for that runner coming.
And I still don't see Akinyoti out there, so it's going to be a decision for Lewis Neal here soon. He cannot continue like this logically, and we're going to be a foul. And our first yellow card of the match will go against the Union. And that looks to be Kai Green getting his yellow.
Kai Green way too aggressive against the Miami FC player. He's trying to win that ball going forward, but instead of stepping in, cut off the angle that Miami FC is trying to play. Watches Green, his footing, instead of slowing down his pass, rather his feet, he should have just cut off that angle to his right.
So our first booking of the evening. Akinyoti still getting worked on. So I was about to say, for Lewis Neal, he's got a decision to make here. He cannot continue to live like this, playing down a player.
The speed of this game is the style that Coach Lewis Neal cannot continue on without a player down, especially centrally. Monterey Bay is dominating and creating this.
This is potential danger here. There's a lot of creativity, but not a lot of connecting going on right now for Monterey Bay FC. In fact, if you're Lewis Neal, I know you're bummed about not cashing in at the end there, but you're still in this game and it's even and you're shorthanded. He's got to be pretty pleased with that.
Miami FC, because they're playing down a man, are dropping all of their numbers back defensively once Monterey Bay has it. Watches Miami FC, their back line is in a really good shape and they're using their hands to direct the players in front of them.
They have yet to get a shot on Jake McGuire. And for all of the possession domination, it's not led to anything that would be truly dangerous.
Miami FC now can catch their breath for a quick second, trying to get that ball out, looking for somebody in transition, but really they're just in a power play moment where Monterey Bay is continuing to go and trying to connect inside the 18.
It has to be frustrating from the Union perspective to come up with nothing during all of this with all of the advantage.
Monterey Bay has dominated the first 28 minutes, and they've only put 4 shots on, no shots on target for the Union. They're creating chances, they're getting there, but the final detail and the final connection for the Union has to be there, getting more numbers for it inside the 18.
Yep, and not surprisingly, Lewis Neal had to make a change. The athletic trainer worked feverishly to try to get Akinyote back, but Ben Mines is going to have to replace him to get this thing at 11-11.
You can hear people on the sidelines talking about Akinyote. He's still bleeding. It's a situation where you had wished he could come back on the pitch, but you do have to use that substitution just to even this game out and try and use someone centrally who can get their foot on the ball and start to maintain some of this possession and slow down the tempo.
And Mines making his 11th appearance of the year. And now for the first time in about 5 minutes, we have an even amount of people on the pitch. Lewis Neal in the sweater and the jeans there, wanted to call, and he got one.
Martinez, instead of just forcing the Miami FC player backwards, he puts his left shoulder into it. No need for Martinez to win the ball there. Instead, continue just to move your feet defensively. There's no threat on goal from that angle.
Well, we've seen one pretty good opportunity here created by Stanley, who's got the left foot. If he wants to do it, he's got Curtis Thorne for the right foot. And Lewis Neal getting in their ear a little bit. Well, the same thing before. Thorne breaks away. Launched. Siaha watches that one sail out of play.
I like the idea of using Stanley as an in-swinger with that left foot. It would have allowed for a player on top of the 6 to redirect that ball going in because it has that power going towards frame. However, way too far post. Stanley overhit that one, not able to keep that one in play.
Four shots for the Union, 2 for Miami FC. Miami FC with the only one on target right now. And one thing, stat that's got to make Monterey Bay coach Frank Yallop a little bit happy, all 4 of their shots have been from outside the box. Danger here, Mark. This one may come from inside the box. Boone chipping, and it's headed away.
Great idea by Boone, trying to chip that one far post. Monterey Bay has had their chances outside the 18, and instead of just continuing to force it in because there's so many numbers back defensively, Monterey Bay's only real option is just outside.
One more time, Martinez trying to create. He is well marked. Quite a battle for the ball, and Martinez has to be careful with that foot, and now each player having a word with each other, but the referee just blows the whistle and will play on. Now he's coming over for a quick conversation with Martinez, but no booking forthcoming.
Martinez has to be really careful down this left flank. He's been really pushing the limits physically, getting himself involved in way more physicality than he needs to. Instead, just win that ball back. Play the next right player if you're Monterey Bay, because you're setting the tempo right now. This is your game if you're the Union to dominate.
No question about which team has been better lately. That's the Union. At home, they are 3 wins, 2 defeats, and 3 draws. They haven't lost a game since May 20th. Miami FC, one more time to repeat, they haven't won a game since May 3rd. The last loss for Monterey Bay, it's been a while. And they're coming off of a nice performance a week ago. A big win in Sacramento, handing the Republic their first loss at home this year.
Monterey Bay with so much confidence going into this season, taking on every opponent and really imposing their style. There has been no room for Miami to breathe in this first half. Monterey Bay has continued to push the limit, the tempo. This Monterey Bay side went into the season, they look really fit, and their ability just to continue to go and be high flying with their press, even when they don't have the ball, shows what Coach Gallup has worked on all offseason to get them to this point.
And now a little bit of an attack here finally for Miami that looks like a little bit of build-up, and it ends very quickly as Donor comes away with it, but can't completely get rid of it. And Monterey will try again. Dixon lays it off perfectly. And Donor on the run. He's got Boone wanting it. Boone takes it. Martinez to his left. Dixon running off to his right. It'll be Martinez here. And that empty calories yet again.
Monterey Bay has become a little bit predictable with those balls down the end line, trying to get somebody inside the 18. There's been no numbers actually charging the 18 from other forwards for the Union. Miami FC's dropping everyone, so it's an easy clearance. The option for Monterey Bay is just outside the 18 because of how far Miami's dropping off to defend the crosses.
One name, Anna, we haven't called in a while is Christian Bileski for the Union. Seems to be a little bit out of the attack at the moment.
Bileski hasn't been dropping back to receive the ball. The majority of the buildup has come from players like Murphy, Boone, or Dixon, even Martinez on the back line, so it hasn't allowed for Bileski to drop in to receive it. Bileski has to find a way to get himself on the shoulder and in transition try and win the ball. That's where he's best.
Interception, boy, I tell you what, if you let up just for a breath, there seems to be a Union player on the attack. Martinez, that's a good through ball, but nice job marking there by Segbers. Green, who had a yellow card earlier. Header, a chance here, and it's going to be scooped up calmly by McGuire. Some creativity, but again, not quite the execution.
Bileski running to find himself on top of the 6. This is a much better buildup for Monterey Bay. Just trying to connect from multiple players. A ball in from Green, and all that Bileski had to do was tap this in, but it was great defense from Miami FC just to get goal side and contest that ball and not let it be a threat.
And Paco Craig running stride for stride with Christian Bileski that time to prevent him from getting a clean opportunity. 37 minutes in, not a goal in sight.
Paco Craig is going to be massive as this game goes on for Miami FC's back line. He has played in all 15 games this season.
Revelar with a steal and decides to turn and try to find Bileski. Touch back to Revelar. Another turnover by the Miami FC. You begin to wonder, when are they going to have one that's going to cost them? And so far it hasn't happened. Looking for Bileski here. Craig is right there. Boone attempting the header, but Miami is all over it. And a whistle there and a little bit too much aggression by James Murphy.
Murphy just trying to win the ball high up the pitch, keep this Miami FC team pinned in defensively because he had his forwards in front of him. Watch Murphy, instead of slowing his feet and trying to win the ball from behind, he has too much momentum going forward and brings down Dennis.
Miami having to substitute Akinyodi early in the first half. About 15 minutes ago, he went out with an injury after a head-to-head collision and maybe a nose injury, something to the forehead, but they couldn't fix him. So Ben Mines came in, and that whistle is not going to go over well. Looks like that's Boone accused of a push when that could have been a corner kick opportunity for the Union.
Boone trying to find himself in behind. Miami FC's done a good job of staying touch tight. Watch as Boone uses his right shoulder to get on the Miami FC defender.
I'm not sure he needed to do that. I think Miami was going to just get the ball away, and he didn't really have to make contact.
Could have been a corner kick opportunity, a high percentage set piece for Monterey Bay. An area where they haven't been dominant, though. They've put a lot of balls inside the 18, and they haven't been able to get ahead on anything to create chances. Valesky's really been the only option once.
Also a quiet evening so far for Alex Dixon. Explosive scorer for Monterey Bay FC. Colorado's spring switchbacks have picked up a goal to cut their deficit to New Mexico to 2-1. It's that match in the second half. That's one that Monterey Bay FC fans will be watching. It's a battle for 4th place, improved playoff position, top 8 making it in the Eastern and Western conferences. And the second quarter kick coming up now for the Miami FC.
Fair doing the defensive work against Miami FC, just tracking back, helping out his center backs to see that one out. Miami FC has done a good job when they put balls inside the box, creating chances for themselves. They know that they're not going to dominate the possession. They're not going to be able to build out the way that they want to against this dominant Union side. So these set pieces outside the 18 from corners kicks are where they're going to get their biggest opportunities.
And once again, it'll be the educated left foot of Aiden Stanley. Line drive, and be careful here. This is a good fast break opportunity team in Monterey Bay FC. Revelar with Dixon. And I can't explain that one, frankly. Can you?
No, I cannot explain that one either, because Revelar passed into the space that he was going to. If he wanted to find his teammate, that would have been a left-footed pass, trying to cut off the run of a center back. That last play is a great example of what the Union have been able to do, which is get to that final second, and then the last piece falls apart and they don't have an answer.
That's been a kind of a microcosm of their first half. Still yet to get an actual shot on frame, and a foul there against Miami, and Curtis Thorne will argue, but only briefly. But you see, one thing I love, they don't mess around. You put the ball down and we're off and running. Dixon this time, he'll try, and that header missing the opportunity was Donor. Boy, the tale of two locker rooms. If we stay this way going into the break, and we'll probably have a little stoppage time because of the injury to Akinyote, I would love to hear the approaches of the two coaches and their level of satisfaction with this half.
Coach Yab has to want his team to continue to be this high flying. Nothing needs to change inside the 18s, but instead make sure that final pass is to somebody.
This is Murphy just breaking right down the middle, shooting, and Sia, kick save and a beauty.
Sia with a big performance so far, having to make 2 saves, but 2 of them have been massive for his side. Murphy finding an outlet to go 1v1 in transition, and that's where options are going to be open for Miami if they continue to win the ball when Monterey Bay is so pressed high.
Miami has not spent a lot of time in this end of the pitch, and they're not going to spend any more. Off they go, backpedaling furiously is Boone looking for the runner. He finds him. That's fair. Martinez drops it off. He's got to shoot this. Dixon, he does, and it's wide and high.
Great opportunity by Dixon outside the 18. The spot just above the circle has been where the best option have been for Union. Murphy with a great 1v1 breakaway, dribbles past 2 Monterey Bay defenders. Big save by Siab, making himself big, coming out of goal. It has been a track meet, to say the least. Monterey Bay has just been relentless with their passing, their possession. However, Miami FC's done a good job of weathering the first half of this storm and creating chances as well.
Yeah, 0-0 doesn't often equal excitement, but there's not been a lot of slow moments in this East versus West matchup.
You mentioned the locker room needing a break and needing some oxygen, Dave. I think I will need some too after this first half.
Lucky I carry some with me at all times, so you're in good shape.
Glad to hear. You come prepared. I like that.
Waiting for an announcement on stoppage time. I figured with the Academy injury we might have a couple of minutes tagged on, but I've heard nothing so far. One yellow card in the first half. That was to Monterey Bay FC's Kai Green. Might get another one right now.
That was way too much from the Union. Boone just applying way too much pressure and unnecessarily being too physical. The ball wasn't going to be received from him anyway. And he's getting a little bit frustrated in the midfield and in the attack. He uses his whole body. He doesn't go into the player and surrender a little bit. Just way too much contact when they go for a 50-50 ball.
No card, though. And now 1 minute of added time here. Been a very interesting chess match between these two. Monterey Bay FC has played as advertised. They look the same. But it's just not connecting at the moment. And we didn't really know what Lewis Neal in his debut would get out of his side. And he has to be fairly pleased with the way his team has absorbed a lot of punches, but some of those punches have also been blocked.
Miami FC getting their first spell of real possession in this game, being able to connect a few passes. And it's the constant movement from Miami FC which allows this, trying to break down this defensive line.
There you see the danger. Dixon, we know he's fast, almost was able to start a run there. And that'll be our first half. Lewis Neal applauding his troops, and he should be happy. Disappointed with Akanyoti, who just saw his jersey. Looks like it's set for July 4th. There's so much red with that white and blue on there. And for Monterey Bay FC, it had to be kind of frustrating for Frank Yallop right there to not see his team being able to finish off some terrific opportunities. We have our halftime festivities coming up. No score, 0-0 between Monterey Bay FC in 5th place in the Western Conference and 10th place Miami, as the Miami FC playing for interim coach Lewis Neal in his coaching debut. They're frustrating the home side so far.
I just can't believe it. I mean, it's just, I'm crying.
What a way to break through to the show we.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
You are beautiful. I really like you.
It's been my dream since I was a little girl. It's the one that I've always wanted to win, so now I've done it and it just feels amazing.
There it is.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is
We're at the break in Monterey as the home team, the Union, unable to crack the net. In fact, they haven't got a shot on frame yet against the Miami FC. Our halftime festivities brought to us by Integris Wealth Management. So let's take a look at our upcoming schedules. First off, for the Union, another big game on the road. In fact, 2 in a row. This game on July 4th against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC is going to be gigantic as they jockey for playoff position and home against El Paso, Oakland Roots, and Detroit. Now, Detroit City lost, Anna, for the first time in a while, but it's always rugged going out there.
The end of July will be huge for Monterey Bay. That means that the beginning of next month will be big for them to get those 3 points, those results, especially when they have to go on the road against Orange County, who's sitting in 9th place, and against the Switchbacks, who are in 7th place right now.
And for Miami FC, Louis Neal will take his team to Colorado Springs, oddly enough, for July 1st, and finally home against Phoenix. And then at FC Tulsa, Charleston Battery, and at San Antonio. So 4 of his first 6 games as the interim coach away from Miami.
Miami FC has a tall task to play against the Switchbacks, to come home against Phoenix Rising, who aren't having the season that they typically have, sitting in 8th place in the Western standings right now. However, against Charleston Battery, that'll be a game where they have to be locked in. Coach Neal's lucky he's going to have 3 more games with his side to figure out their principles, style of soccer before they have to take on the Battery.
And, you know, they're not out of it, Miami FC. If they can get going, they may be able to inject themselves into the playoff race. That's where Monterey Bay FC is right now in the West as our halftime continues, looking for our first goal of the night.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league, the USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Beautiful evening for everybody on the Monterey Bay. When is it not a beautiful evening for everybody on the Monterey Bay, on the Monterey Peninsula? But the fans might be a little tense as the home side certainly favored here against a struggling the Miami FC side. Neither team able to find the back of the net through 46 minutes. Along with Anna Whitty, Dave Lamont. Let's take a look at what's going around USL. The Proud to Be platform is a declaration of our club's pride, activations, awareness, and telling LGBTQ+ stories across USL. You can go to that website right there, uslsoccer.com/proud-to-be for more. How about this? Dominique Wilkins, the greatest in-game dunker of all time in the NBA, by the way, has joined the Birmingham Legion FC ownership group as an investor. That's great. Neek's good dude, too. That's a big thing for Birmingham. And on ESPN2, Saturday, July 1st, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Phoenix Rising FC, Memphis 901 FC, the USL on ESPN2. Take a look around what's going on. And we call your attention before we go in order. Anna, I'm going to screw things up a little bit. We're going to go to the lower right-hand corner where Colorado Springs Switchbacks tied with Monterey at 23 points. They are in the fading ticks of the clock, or the referee's watching that game, and New Mexico on top.
New Mexico with the opportunity to bounce out of that 10th spot in the Western Conference, where Colorado is sitting in the 7th spot. So it would be a massive result for New Mexico. Big game for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, getting the result over San Diego Loyal.
And New Mexico bouncing back after a loss to Phoenix on Wednesday, 3-1. Also Wednesday, FC Tulsa was routed by Memphis. Rio Grande Valley FC over Colorado Springs Switchbacks. So this could be a bad week for them. Pittsburgh a winner tonight, and Indy 11 taking down Hartford Athletic 2-0. Coming up, Oakland Roots SC, Rio Grande Valley FC. That's coming up in the middle of the week. You've got the Battery taking on Loudoun United on ESPN Plus on the 30th. That's Friday. Tulsa will be in Detroit. The Riverhounds in Lou City. That's a good one on ESPN Plus July 1st, along with the Switchbacks F and Miami. So that ought to be fun for Miami, maybe. And at the altitude, that's going to be a challenge for them. And, of course, on July 1st, Phoenix Rising and Memphis 901 FC, we told you, will be on ESPN 2. Who's going to crack first? Who's going to find the back of the net first? We'll have the highlights from an exciting but no score first half.
I just can't believe it. I mean, it's just, I'm crying.
What a way to break through for the show we.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
You are beautiful. I really like you.
It's been my dream since I was a little girl. It's the one that I've always wanted to win, so now I've done it and it just feels amazing.
There it is.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
So let's take a look at the first half highlights. And early on, we saw some of that Monterey pressure that we were anticipating.
Monterey Bay so quick out of the gate. They were able to connect, dominate the possession in the first half. They had ability to go out wide and get crosses inside. However, those options inside the box were not there. Coach Yallop wanted his side to take higher percentage shots, and that's exactly what Monterey Bay has been doing, but they haven't resulted on many shots on target. The biggest opportunity for Miami FC has been off a free kick just outside the 18. A really good save by Siaha, who has held Miami FC out of the back of the net. Monterey Bay has continued to put on the pressure, and this Miami FC side has done a good job of stepping back and putting all their numbers back defensively to weather this storm. Kyle Murphy had an opportunity down the middle of the field, beating several different defenders, but Siaha coming out and making himself really big, not able to result in any goals. So neither side has had many opportunities in this game. There's only been several chances and 3 shots on target in total.
That's it, and 8 shots by the Union, but 12.5% making it on the way. In the meantime, Miami FC a little bit more efficient, but the bottom line is neither team has found the back of the net. We've had the 1 card to Kai Green against the Union, and Miami FC so far has escaped any discipline.
58% possession from the Union is not reflective of the first half, because at the very end, Miami got a little bit more possession. I would have said it's more 70% after that last 5 minutes, but Monterey Bay, that's not typical for them. They normally don't want the possession, but it's working in their favor to create chances so far.
Well, with the way things have gone, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC just lost their match. San Diego lost today. So at the second, Monterey Bay FC is in 4th place. Now they count that this game right now as 1 point because that's where we are. The result is 1 point. So they pick up a full 3, and there's another save by Siaha on a sneaky effort in the first 20 seconds by the Miami FC. My point, Anna, is this is a big opportunity for Monterey to increase their playoff standing.
Monterey Bay, if they want to get those 3 points, it's about connecting once they get into the 18 or getting those opportunities, those risks that they're taking outside the 18 on frame. Coach Yallop has to be really happy with the options that his team is getting, but really needs to focus in on making sure those shots result on shots on target.
Still plenty of sunlight around here. The sunsets at the stadium are spectacular, and we may get a glimpse of that as this match goes on. You can see, get a good look from our crew right there, what it looks like from the perspective of Monterey Bay manager Frank Yallop. And some early attack here coming from the Miami FC. That was Sordo, number 99. And a little contact, a little too much contact in the opinion of our referee, Corbin May. Hayden Stanley whistled for that. If you missed it, on Monday, Lewis Neal became the interim coach of this team.
Stanley trying to win the ball back, just a little too much pressure on the back of Boone. Monterey Bay has really slowed down the tempo in the first few minutes. They haven't been as high flying. Miami FC has had their opportunities. be really hard to sustain the first 45 minutes and the speed that we saw from this Union side all 90 minutes.
Green with a long ball. Nice touch there from Selesky, and it's going to go away. However, he was trying to go to Maury Donor. And we'll see if there are some changes made by Frank Gallup, not necessarily in personnel, but in philosophy as to the way they attack this second half, trying to get to the back of the net.
No need to make any substitutions right now for Coach Gallup because your personnel looks fresh and they look fit. They're connecting. It's that last final detail that sometimes teams need the first 45 minutes to figure out what they need to do to connect that last piece.
Trying to go to Boone, and that was a little bit overcooked. Monterey, one of the highest scoring teams in USL Championship, held without a shot on frame. I mentioned Lewis Neal taking over this team on Monday when Anthony Poulos was either fired or resigned after a loss on Saturday, which they could have easily won that game, as I'm sure any the Miami FC supporter who may be with us would be telling us.
Miami FC, even if they had won that game last week, would have had 3 wins. Now Miami FC with only 2 wins, sitting at the bottom of the table right now, needs something that will help change their season halfway through. A lot of times when new coaches come in, there's an uptick in play. Getting different personnel in that leadership spot sometimes changes things. Making sure that you have the personnel to fit the system that you want to play is really important. Coach Neal said that he wishes his team played the style that this Monterey Bay side plays, the high flying, the high percentage opportunities, trying to get shots all over the field. Miami FC is not quite there yet with their personnel. It's a more possession base, but Coach Neal definitely impressed with how this Union side has been able to get results within their style this season.
Donor looking for help. Revelar. Switch to the left this time. There's Dixon. Bolesky setting up shop. He's also got Boone in the box. Bolesky with a touch there. He'll have to turn around eventually and lay it off. And it was deflected off a Miami FC player. Throw-in coming up for the Union. And all the way back to Anthony Siaha, who at the moment, if you had to pick a man of the match for the Union, I think it'd be him.
Siaha coming off of his goal line, making himself big, making good, smart, tactical decisions. Only 25 years old. He doesn't have all the experience in the world, but he's done a good job of making the right movements and communicating well with his back line.
Chance for a give and go, but the attack then goes toward the middle, but a turnover by Monterey Bay FC, and maybe a chance here for Kyle Murphy. He is very well marked, however. Gets a little help. Buona, number 18. That's Segber's number 2. And that didn't quite work out for Claudio Repetto. Now Boone having it, and a bad turnover that time by Murphy. Sordo, ball got hopped over his foot. So guy, we know that Stanley can be accurate with that left foot. Cross here, nobody's there, ball left available. Oh, you could see what was going to happen there. Am I wrong to think that Duona was going to take the hardest shot in the history of the game right there?
Duona should have taken that shot. Instead, it was taken away from one of his teammates. That communication was not there, and Duona was in a great spot. Just let it rip.
No idea where it was going to land, but that could have been 150 miles an hour by the time he got to it.
Miami FC has looked a lot better in the attack. They're starting to maintain some of this possession and building up, being smart, using the wide areas, connecting more passes, and cutting down this possession number, making Monterey Bay have to chase a little bit more defensively and making a stamp on this game.
Yeah, it's almost as if the players have changed. The uniforms now, the blue team is not attacking, and the team in the white and teal is, and it was the other way around in the first half. And how does Monterey Bay FC get their mojo back?
Monterey Bay doesn't need the possession. That's one thing that Coach Yallop said is they're not a possession-based team. They want to be high-flying and they want to get going forward. However, in the first half, they didn't play their normal style. It tended to work. However, that last piece wasn't there for them. So it's about being settled, but also being a little bit more unpredictable once they get to the final third.
Revelar. Now Boone looking to maybe drop it off. Well, that was all set up there for Selesky, but the pass was behind him. Looking for Murphy. See, he's setting up, number 9. He never had a chance to get his feet on that one. That's Maury Donor. Boone asked for it, and his cross is headed away, but not completely out. Little contact in the box, but not worthy of any whistle there at all. Good job there by Segbers. Boone. Revelar, little give and go, maybe. Nope, it'll be kept by Donor. Dixon floating around the box. Boone, cross, headed away, not headed away, but booted away. Valesky, what an effort! He turned on that, rotated his hips, and McGuire had to put that one in the front row. Otherwise, it's 1-0 for Monterey Bay FC.
Valesky trying to flick that one behind his body, just a little too high. Watch as this ball comes in from Martinez, and Valesky isn't facing on frame. He has to use the back of his heel to try and shoot that one. McGuire using his left hand does a good job. He can't pull that one down, but pushes it over the crossbar.
We're not going to get much of a better effort from two players there, Valesky and McGuire, as the pressure continues. Trying to get it into either Valesky or maybe Dixon. And that was the first time on frame for the Union tonight. Took them 55 minutes of this match. Don't be fooled by the score. We have had a ton of action.
Monterey Bay starting to fall back into that more possession. Miami FC giving it to them, knowing that they're not comfortable with possession. Sometimes possession isn't a good thing for a team. It means that they're more predictable.
Boone trying to find a shot. He can't. And Miami FC's back line coming up big this time. And here's a chance now maybe for the visitors to run a little bit. And it's going to be a throw-in coming up as the second Repetto paused. No, that should not be that way. Yeah, good effort though. I got to give Murphy credit. Trying to pull one over the official's eyes.
Murphy trying to slow down the game too, letting his team track back defensively and get to good defensive shape. Monterey Bay playing in a 5-back right now as Miami FC has the ball. They don't feel like they can put too many numbers forward. They want to make sure everyone's tracked back defensively to give them that shape. The Union can do it because they have players who are fit. They have a very athletic team who can get forward in transition moments like this one over the top.
Aiden Stanley, number 3, who just passed that ball out there. He's been a key part of this game for the Miami FC as a distributor and free kick and corner kick man. Only 1 corner kick opportunity so far for the Union and just 2 for Miami FC. As Monterey will try to quickly shape some build up here. Sorto doing a good job of harassing Donor. And that forces the Union to go back a little bit before they move forward. The A announcer now trying to get the crowd a little bit involved here.
Well, Valesky dropping off to receive the ball. Not a player who's really comfortable building out. He wants that ball in front of him where he can either shoot or be that player who facilitates that last pass for somebody else to score. The way that this game is playing out right now, Monterey Bay needs Valesky to drop off and be another connection, because they're possessing a lot more than they have at all at any point in this season.
And you saw there now the official ruling that Aiden Stanley was a little aggressive. I don't know if he's going to get the foul. I assume he is, but certainly a stoppage of play with a player down. The whistle didn't come right away on the contact as Donor will wait to be helped up by someone.
Stanley coming from behind. Donor and Stanley trying to win that ball. Stanley just flying through Donor. It's not too much contact, nothing too aggressive. Stanley's just trying to win that ball, not actually trying to apply too much pressure on Donor. I would have said that could go either way.
Again, he took his time on that one.
If Donor didn't stay on the pitch as long as he did, I would have said continue play.
Valesky, and that strike, a disappointing one. He's had a bit of a frustrating outing.
Credit to how Miami FC has played this Monterey Bay side. Valesky likes to be a player who wants to get in behind, and because Miami FC is having to drop back so many numbers defensively, he's been covered.
Turnover here, and there it goes into row number 10 that time. Alex Dixon and company.
Coach Yallop was pretty verbal and saying that he wants his team to take high percentage shots. However, some of these opportunities that the Union are getting outside the 18 should not be taken. There is one final pass that could be found. Dixon couldn't get himself over top of that ball and didn't have too much of a great angle. Might as well either peel that one back and find somebody else or find somebody running inside the 18.
Got 9 shots, now 10 shots by the Union, just 2 on target. Miami 4 shots, 3 on target. Now you start to wonder about the substitutions, as Hernandez is in for Miami FC, number 5 for Ofemu in the back line. So there's another substitution for Lewis Neal, who had to use one in the first half, and Akanyoti was injured, and Ben Mines came in.
Hernandez started in Miami's last game, so a player who's used to playing next to Paco Craig. His 12th game of the season. That's one of the inconsistencies that Miami has had to deal with, is injuries and changes to the back line, especially in the center back role, really throw off a team when they're trying to establish their defensive principles. In this game, Miami has done a really good job with what the Union have given them from a defensive standpoint, staying very compact and communicating well.
Ofemu had made his first start for Miami FC, and now he will sit out the rest of this match. Hernandez getting the chance. Little room for Boone to run here. And his switch to the left was an ill-advised decision. Sorto. Little room to run. He's got a partner with him, and that's Repetto. Looking maybe for Murphy, and you can hear the thud of that, a little too heavy. Miami will keep the possession and keep the pressure on. Against that man there, Siaha, who's made every one of his saves. They have not been routine, and they've been important.
Stanley is wide open at the bottom of the screen, looking to switch the point of attack. You could see his frustration as he puts his head down to get back into a defensive shape. Miami FC's midfielders have to check their shoulders a little bit more because there's been space to create overloads on either side of the field in moments where Monterey Bay is trying to keep them pinned in.
Monterey looks different. We're not seeing some of the fast break we saw to them in the first half. Maybe the opportunities just aren't there, but they seem to be playing at a little bit slower pace.
Monterey Bay exerted so much energy in the first half. They were pressing high, they were winning the ball high. No real substitutions have been made at all in the second half. So potential for Coach Yalp to put in some fresh legs to create a different energy for this Union side to continue to be high flying the way that they typically want to play.
You mean like right now?
I do. I mean exactly right now. It's a great time for a sub for the Union.
And Simon Dawkins will come in for Chase Boone. Dawkins out of London. Has only played off the bench. In fact, this is only his 6th appearance, and he has yet to find the back of the net. He's number 8 in the blue. Let's see how he goes. And you can see right away the impact of having rested for most of this game. He starts to race around to get warmed up, almost like a Formula One car warming up new tires.
Dawkins hasn't played a lot of games this season. However, he has plenty of experience with this Monterey Bay side. Played 26 games last year, has a goal and has 2 assists. So Dawkins knows exactly what this Monterey Bay side wants to do in the attack.
Layoff here, an opportunity. Look out. We are having a penalty kick opportunity for Miami FC. A takedown in the box and a shocker.
Ben Mines finds himself out wide 1v1 against Martinez, trying to isolate himself. Watch as this ball gets played inside, and this first initial touch from Mines, he's trying to get himself closer to goal. Instead, Martinez puts way too much pressure on Mines, pushes him over instead of getting in between the player and the ball.
So it looks like Murphy will try to get his 5th goal. And a big opportunity here for Miami FC. And if Murphy is successful, it's going to be interesting to see how Lewis Neal uses his available substitutes. He's had to make 2 already. And now this is going to impact the substitute pattern of Frankie Yallop. Murphy strikes. Siaha comes up with another incredible save. A double fist pump for the goalie, and he celebrates as Monterey now breaks wide open. This is Dixon. He's got Zaleski, lays it off, the shot, and it's a counterattack goal. Monterey Bay FC leads 1-0.
Monterey Bay proving how strong they are in transition once they win the ball. A crazy play between Miami FC getting a penalty kick, and then as soon as that ball is cleared, Dixon is so unselfish. Watch as Siaha makes a massive save in goal, and Monterey Bay takes no time to find Dixon on the other end of the field. Watch as Dixon's checking his shoulder this entire time. Valesky is following Dixon out wide. It's a 2v1 situation, and Valesky has to find a way to push this past McGuire, who's coming out trying to make himself big, and Valesky does just that to put the Union up by 1.
Goal number 7 for Valesky, assist number 2 for Dixon. And Anna, it's so funny because in the first half we talked about, you know, Monterey Bay wants its players to be more selfish. That time it was Dixon's unselfishness that led to that goal.
A completely shifting gears in a matter of moments. Dixon, a player who has had so many shots this season for his side, 8 goals, now has 2 assists on the season, and to be so unselfish because McGuire read exactly what Dixon was trying to do. Valesky was right there. Might as well pass it off and make it a little bit more unpredictable for the goalkeeper.
McGuire had come out and Dixon could have easily taken a shot, but he has a sniper on his left and he passed it off generously. What a turnaround that was.
I don't know who feels better right now, Martinez or Valesky.
How about Siaha?
That too.
It all starts with his save, and in the meantime, if you're Kyle Murphy, you couldn't feel any worse. And now we'll see about the grit of this team under interim coach Lewis Neal. But if Miami, I'm just projecting, if the Miami FC doesn't get this win, this is another bad luck game for them. Although this was a skillful goal by the Union for sure, but they had some bad luck against Loudoun last week. And now an unbelievable turn of cards here.
Credit to how Monterey Bay has played the majority of this game, maintaining the possession, creating chances. It proves that the Union aren't a team who like to possess, because once they possess, they're way too predictable. They can't find ways to be dynamic unless they have the transition moments. The Union only have the forwards who like the balls in behind where they can run and find themselves 1v1. They don't want the pressure on their backs.
How does Monterey Bay FC change their approach? Do they pull the horns in a little bit as they're doing at the moment and start to chew away clock? Siaha stumbled a little bit going after that. Here you see Lewis Neal in that dark sweater with the white collar, white shirt, making his debut. And the fact that Miami FC did this in the middle of the season, he should have the job for the rest of the year. There was still a chance for this side to pull out of the doldrums. There's plenty of time. This isn't one of those done with 3 games left in the season and everybody knows what's going to happen kind of things.
Coach Neal talked about getting the call Monday morning, saying he didn't expect this to happen either, or to get this opportunity to take over. He was certainly shocked, but there has to be a massive mentality shift, not only for Coach Neal, but the entire Miami side.
Sordo just missed there on the opportunity to try to feed Murphy. Sordo again, this time he'll go wide. Stanley, dangerous here. And Murphy just couldn't quite lumber over into position. Well, I guess we're getting an answer what to expect from the Miami FC, because they're not backing down 1 inch.
Miami FC sees so much life in this game. They have had opportunity after opportunity. The back line for Monterey Bay has been so aggressive, and that's where they've taken their risks.
Yeah, Murphy was taken down in a call that, for the Monterey faithful, not a popular one. And it's going to give them a very dangerous free kick situation. Roberts, the captain, was the one hit with that. No card. We just had the 1 card so far against Kai Green for the Union. And Sordo had an opportunity like this a week ago against Loudoun and went for it all and missed. So once again, right foot, left foot.
I'm saying left foot.
Stanley's taken every free kick so far. Siaha painting it exactly the way he wants it. Sordo drives into the box. Couldn't get enough height on it. We also talked early in the broadcast about Monterey Bay FC's improvement defensively as the season has gone on. During this unbeaten run of theirs, they have shut some teams down. They're on a 3-game win streak. And at home, they're 3-2-3. The Miami FC yet to win away from South Florida.
Monterey Bay has been so lucky with the health of their back line that they've been able to get a consistent partnership in Roberts and Green in that center back role, and it's led to being able to just only concede 19 goals this season. Monterey Bay tonight, their biggest weakness has been the back line with the types of fouls they've conceded, with Martinez in the box, Roberts just outside the 18. Miami FC noticing that, putting numbers physically on the back line of Monterey Bay and making them foul.
Monterey Bay FC is starting to get called for a lot of fouls. Some of them, and their reactions to the referee are not favorable, so they have to maintain their poise here. This could be a big night for them in the Western Conference if they can hold on to this advantage, with San Diego losing, with Colorado Springs losing. Right now they have moved up to 26 points. This is counting this result as a win, as what they do with USL standings. This would be a huge night for them to bump them up into the top 3 or 4.
Monterey Bay need that confidence boost too to potentially move up into the 3rd or 4th spot as they hit the midway through the season and go into next week.
And you see the double foul total. Meantime, Murphy, and his shot is rejected. 16-8, 2-to-1 ratio. More fouls called on Monterey Bay FC than Miami FC. And that ball just a little too heavy.
Miami FC continuing to target this Monterey Bay back line. It's multiple times that Miami FC players have dropped when Monterey Bay defenders have put their hands on them. Union have to be very careful just to move their feet defensively. There's no reason to be as physical as they've been of late.
Novello Yoseki from Canada will check in, and he'll check in for the goal scorer, Christian Valeski. And this seems to me to be more of a defensive-oriented move.
Be interesting to see the tactical changes that are made with this substitution.
No, I'm sorry. That's for Revelar, excuse me. Valeski faked this out.
Valeski making sure he's given that direction before his teammate steps onto the pitch. Revelar, player who's played in that double pivot next to Murphy throughout the game, has had multiple opportunities. But this Monterey Bay side needs some fresh legs on the pitch, especially centrally, to help out defensively, where they've started to concede a lot of fouls.
This is Yoseki's 6th appearance of the year. He has a goal. So each side with his couple of substitutions. Siaha might still be the man of the match.
I wouldn't quite disagree with that. With the penalty kick save, with the 2 massive saves and goal in the first half, has held this Monterey Bay team score, or rather not able to concede. He's had a great clean sheet so far. Monterey Bay has been on the attack. However, Miami FC has found their options in transition. Without Siaha, I'm not sure this game would be still a clean sheet for the Union.
Valeski, second goal here would be devastating for Miami. Can they get it done? And not on that possession. Dawkins was involved in that one, number 8. And was that deflected? We have a little corner kick here. Number 2 for the Union. And they'll take their sweet time setting this up. It'll be Murphy when he finally gets there. We'll go ahead and take it. I know goalkeepers get yellow cards for taking too much time for a free kick. You never see a guy get a yellow card for taking too much time to set up a corner. He's ready, and here we go. Could be dangerous. And it's going to go out of play. It was
Yoseki gets a head on it for Monterey Bay, showing some presence inside the 6, exactly what this Monterey Bay side needs on set pieces. Not able to redirect that one, but it's a really positive play for them, which they haven't been able to be dangerous on any set pieces in this game.
Serious suspense going on here for Lewis Neal, debuting as the interim coach for the Miami FC. Can they get a point for him? Can he start his debut with at least a point on the road? Can they pull off a miraculous victory and steal 3? Because they've got to go back out on the road to Colorado Springs, and that is not keeping your cool. And the 4th official jumped in, and smartly done there. And I like what the referee did. He let the 4th official handle that. He didn't stop the game. He didn't lecture. We're playing on. Knock it off, you guys. I got better things to do than deal with you. I like that. That's good.
Make sure that no actual fight breaks out, but it just seemed like it was an exchange of words.
Ooh, Murphy didn't mean to do that, I am quite certain, but a corner kick is coming. In fact, now it's obvious that it wasn't off of Murphy, but whoever was defending him. So a corner kick opportunity now for Miami FC, and once again, it will be Stanley.
Stanley has a really great left foot, and this is an in-swinger, so an opportunity for Miami FC to make runs inside the 6, looking for a header to redirect to find the back of the net.
I wonder if Repetto might be a target here. Number 7. Monterey able to get their heads on it instead. In fact, Valesky or Martinez, either one of them, they were both in the vicinity. And a big clear. And Jake McGuire miles from his goal. A little give and go. And Monterey will go to one of their famous counterattacks. Dixon, who has an assist tonight on the only goal by Christian Valesky. They'll be patient, but it's going to be a good one if Valesky goes to the heel, but Dixon's return no good, and Sorto will try to start things for Miami.
Miami FC able to take their time to dribble up the field a little bit because the high press of the Union has started to slow down. Tired legs have started to kick in for Monterey Bay. So for the Union, it's about seeing this game out, winning the possession, and keeping the ball at their feet.
Rivas will be checking in for Miami at the next opportunity. He's standing next to the 4th official, Joaquin Rivas, looking for his first goal of the year, but he'll represent some fresh wheels and see if he comes in right now. Yes, he will. Let's see who comes out. That'll be Repetto, looks like.
Substitution. Exiting the pitch, number 15, Alex Dixon.
Alex Dixon will check out. And Grant Robinson will make his 6th appearance of the season.
A great showing for Dixon, getting a massive assist in transition. Helped create multiple opportunities for this Monterey Bay side.
Well, they're happy he's back in the starting 11. If this Monterey team is going to do anything in the playoffs, should they hold their playoff position, Alex Dixon could have a lot to do with any success. He is a goal scorer by nature.
Dixon with 4 shots in this game, an assist, his ability to come off the pitch and help this team as well. A huge piece that Yellup has is the amount of depth that he has in the attack, that he can go to his bench, in the 81st minute of the game and bring a player like Grant Robinson, who has a goal on the season, that will help out this Monterey Bay side as they look towards the latter half of the season, playoff push, using some of the depth, hoping people stay healthy and being able to compete.
Robinson had started his first 5 games. This is his first one coming off the bench for Frank Yallop. Murphy, well marked that time by Roberts. Tell you, Donor doesn't appear to have tired legs. Valesky lays it off to Donor. Valesky, understanding he doesn't really have to shoot, just possess.
Good tactical decisions from this Monterey Bay side, bringing the ball up into the attacking half, however, making sure that they're not putting themselves in a moment where Miami FC can try and capitalize with Kyle Murphy over the top. That's exactly how Miami FC is going to continue to look to score, is once they win the ball, how can they find one of their outlets and beyond.
And Murphy, number 9, you see right there in the center. He looks pretty worn out too. He's a big guy and dangerous in close. But for the Union, a potentially big night in the standings. If they get the 3.
Monterey Bay, if they can get 3 points here tonight, 3rd place in the standings, as they go on the road, having this convincing win would be massive for their confidence.
Yeah, they go to Orange County on July 1st. Valesky, he might stroke this. He does, and it's going to be just over the crossbar.
Good idea by Valesky. No one's slowing him down. It's a great opportunity outside the 18. Just doesn't get his chest over that ball to see it underneath the crossbar.
Valesky again. Lays it off, almost got it back. Miami now with Sordo. There's the long ball. And it'll be a throw-in for the Miami FC. Miami with 13 points on the year. Tulsa and Hartford below them in the standings. Monterey Bay at the moment, as Anna mentioned, sitting in 3rd place. If this result does not change, they will be in 3rd. 6 points behind the team they just beat, Sacramento Republic. And one more substitution coming up, it looks like, for the Miami FC. As we have a injured, or at least a possibly cramping, or maybe he's just resting.
Grabbing a quick snack, either one. All the above, maybe.
We don't get to do that. Looks like we might see Michael Salazar come in. Number 17. And I'd say we will see Michael Salazar come in. Let's see. Is he able to... Yeah, it can get crampy even in mid-50s weather, and the weather has been absolutely ideal for running at full speed for 90 minutes plus. But at the moment, they have not introduced Salazar into the game, and now they will. And he'll take out Christian Sordo, interestingly. So you have a player who's not able to play. Wait a minute, now I think the decision is leave Sordo out there possibly, and just have Salazar come in for the player who is not available. And Lewis Neal called on to make that call. So let's see if yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do. So DiMercurio is out, and Salazar is in. And some pressure here. The defender falls down. Sordo's got a crack at it, and scores! No, he missed. The ball went behind the net. My mistake. It's a corner kick coming up. Whoa. This time it wasn't Siaha who comes up big. Watch the defender come in from the side as we set up for this corner kick.
Sort of all by himself, and the defender makes a weird decision to duck underneath that ball, and it goes over top of his head. Very lucky if you're the Union.
Incredibly lucky if you're the Union. That was an incredible effort by Maury Donor. Fooled me for a second. I thought that ball had gone in the back of the net. Instead, it went behind the back of the net. Miami now flooding the box, and Siaha is all over that.
It was an incredible save by Donor eventually. However, that duck, or whatever the heck he tried to do to clear that ball outside the 18, was such a strange decision to get on his knees. That's an opportunity for Donor just to put his boot through the ball and kick it up the pitch.
Dawkins had it for a brief moment. Sordo went for the trap, couldn't get it. Should have a report on stoppage time. 3-4 minutes sounds about right. Playing a long ball there, and Siaha, the clear field of vision. Eating up a little bit of time.
Siaha pushing his team up the field. Monterey Bay now they're looking to really kill this game with some possession. Getting the ball into the attacking third and just find one of the corner flags if you're Valesky to kill the clock.
He got that right to Valesky's foot. Incredible kick by Siaha there. Murphy trying to get there first, but it's swept away from him. Throw in for Miami with Sorto. The Union trying to hang on for 3 points and finish the night in third place. Sorto didn't have any room to strike from distance. And possession won for the moment, and a wise decision that time by Donor, who's also been very solid tonight for Frank Yallop and the Union.
Donor, a player who's played the most minutes for this Monterey Bay side of all time. He is all over the pitch, using that right flank to get forward and help in the attack, and now defensively he's dropping back to help make this a 5-back for Monterey Bay.
4 minutes of additional time for the Miami FC to get a point here for interim coach Lewis Neal in his debut. Not quite a proper clear. And Miami FC 10 in the Monterey Bay FC half of the field.
The final opportunities that Miami might see, the set piece to get a player their head on the end of one of these balls coming in.
Well, it's a Sorto this time instead of Aiden Stanley. They're going to go right foot in swinger. Dangerous! Top of the net this time. And a couple of little bumps there. And again, Monterey's got to watch their poise. It was Hernandez who annoyed, and there's a yellow card, and let's see who it's going toward. I don't know if this is, I don't know who this is on. I do know there was a very irritated Monterey. Yeah, that's who it was. That, by the way, is James's, if that's James Murphy, that's his 7th yellow of the season.
The frustration from Valesky initially is because Hernandez put his hands on Valesky's shoulders to get that elevation to head the ball.
So let's see if that was Murphy or Valesky that got the yellow. We'll wait on that ruling. You had a couple of candidates there because there was definitely some conversation going on. They were very irritated with referee Corbin May, but he pulled out a yellow.
The header didn't result in a goal, so for the Union, you have to be able to control your emotions in that game. In that moment, you're up. There's only a few minutes left in extra time. No reason to get frustrated if it doesn't result in a goal.
I'm still waiting on the official word as to who got hit with that late yellow. Got about 90 seconds remaining. Sordo trying to get the header. Here's a great chance for Sordo here, and coming in from the back, that might have been Murphy who sacrificed his body to slide tackle that away, and Murphy is shaken up on the pitch right now. He is still down, and great sportsmanship from Sordo, the player that Murphy cleanly tackled the ball from to make sure that Murphy was okay. This was possibly a game-saving effort.
Sordo at the top of the 18, he waits for this deflection to come out. Should have been a one-time hit from Sordo because he doesn't have the time with the pressure coming on his back, the pressure coming in front of him. Murphy does a good job to come from behind, even though he does get clipped eventually. And Sordo's just trying to get Murphy up so this game continues and he gets an opportunity again.
Am I giving him too much credit for sportsmanship?
I think you might be, to be
All right,
honest.
well, I'm usually pretty cynical.
I love the positivity.
Yeah, that's rare.
I love how Sordo was picking up Murphy by his pinky finger, too. That's pretty good.
Pinky promise, will you please get up? But Murphy did come up with a great play. Sordo had it there. Just couldn't get it. One last chance, maybe. Looking at the official, just checked his watch. And that's all. An unbelievable turnaround at around the 67-minute mark. The Miami FC was attempting a penalty kick. About 20 seconds later, it was in the back of the net for Monterey Bay on the counterattack when the penalty kick was saved. And that's the difference in this thriller, as Monterey Bay FC, the Union, goes to bed third place in the Western Conference.
Monterey Bay dictated the first half, had opportunity after opportunity, but only resulted in 3 shots on target throughout this entire match. Miami FC did a good job of weathering the storm with 5 shots on target, just were not able to capitalize at the very end when Soto was just at the top of the 18 looking for an option back. Monterey Bay's back line handled it well, and in transition is how the Union want to score. They got their opportunity and move up to third place in the Western Conference standings towards the end of the night.
And Big Anthony Siaha with another clean sheet, his 4th of the year, and he could become a factor for this Monterey Bay FC team as the season continues. Big win for the Union. We'll talk about it when we return.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montreo, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Christian Valesky getting a dramatic goal on an incredible turnaround you're about to see. An assist by Alex Dixon. To the spoils go the victors, or the victors go the spoils is actually the right way to say that. And there's a certain consideration for man of the match, Anthony Siaha. Everything he seemed to do in this match was impactful. It was not a routine night in goal for him.
Saha with 5 big saves in this game for Monterey Bay. Miami FC had a few opportunities off set pieces. Stanley with a great in-swinger. However, Saha making himself big, coming out at moments, getting touches when he needs to. Monterey Bay's defense at moments lacked, and Saha came up massive. Saha coming out and stopping this opportunity from Kyle Murphy by making himself big, coming out of the 6. For that as well. Monterey Bay had multiple opportunities up top. They were really pressing, had the majority possession, but it didn't bother Miami FC as that second half wore on. Kyle Murphy had opportunities. Soto had options just inside the 18. Monterey Bay did a good job of weathering that storm, and as the second half went on, the possession started to uptick for Monterey Bay. They started to take more risks outside the 18. McGuire had to make a few big saves. In this Monterey Bay side, the only thing moving forward that they really need to work on is their defense. Martinez with a foul inside the 18 turns into a PK shot, and then it resulted on the other side of the field in quick transition. Dixon finds himself 2v1, passes it off to Valesky, who's wide open. Monterey putting this one away. It seems as if this was a 50-50 down the middle of the field game. However, this Monterey Bay side did a good job of possessing the majority of it and getting opportunities. And
that is the very latest in the standings right there, with now San Antonio and Sacramento Republic are playing, so that could switch around with San Antonio either getting equal with Monterey Bay FC or going around them. But still, for the moment, Monterey Bay FC with their 4th straight win. That's an outright 4-game win streak. And they get this time a combination of offense and defense. Great goaltending certainly has a lot to do with it too. And it's a tough loss for Louis Neal in his debut for Miami FC, as he'll try to go through and find some of the positives. Certainly, I hate to just always give them the little lollipop. Oh, you guys tried hard, but they never did give in. And when faced with that crisis after the goal, they fought even harder, I thought.
Coach Neal has to be really happy with his side. The options that they created, how they really stuck in the second half. It's going to have to be small tweaks, really trying to shore themselves up in the middle of the field. However, for Monterey Bay to come out of this game with a clean sheet before they go on the road, solidified their spot in the 3rd place in the standings in the Western Conference, is a great place to be just about halfway into the season.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun tonight. Highly entertaining game for only having 1 goal scored. Plenty of opportunities and certainly plenty of intensity. And another beautiful evening on the Monterey Peninsula. I want to thank our crew. For Anna Whitty, I'm Dave Lamont. We appreciate you watching the United Soccer League with Monterey Bay FC winning tonight over the Miami FC 1-0. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.